Welcome back. An important day today on our carport extension. I've prepped all the woodwork and everything else ready for Matt to start to come and do what he does best. So we're ready for plasterboarding. So first of all, I've got an inspection to pass. So let's see how I'm getting on. Sounds like a bit of commotion inside. What is this?
Nope. And a big bag of nope.
Oh God, I think he's taking the job a bit too seriously, don't you, folks? You want to Morning, Matthew.
Good morning, Richard.
Are we ready? We are, aren't we, I think?
Yes, I think so. Start to strip out, get rid of all that old board over there.
Yeah, all this has got to come off, hasn't it? All this board there. All that ceiling's got to come down as well. And we're going to pull things like this up out the way. But we talked about last episode how bad that wall was. Yeah. And it just needs to come off. We need to put some structure in the walls for all the Pattress in, for all the wall cupboards as well. So we've got opportunity to wrong two rights, haven't we?
Yeah, it's like the 7 Cs over there.
It is, so. We'll sort that and we'll make it nice, won't we?
Well, there's only so much I can trebuchet onto the walls.
Yeah. We're not building a climbing wall. Those of you who, and you know who you are very good at spotting things I may not have done. And you'd be right on this occasion. Last episode, I said, I'm all done ready. And I hadn't put the noggins in for the wall plate strap up there. So now I'm doing it. I forgot that one. I spotted it myself, edited the video last night. So I'm doing it now. And then we're going to crack straight on, aren't we? Get these insulated plasterboards, get them fired on this wall then, because they're on the top of the pile there, look. So get those on the ceiling and onto there once we put the 100mm into there. And then start stripping out, aren't we? Start stripping out all this lot, all this wall, all this ceiling, and then start reboarding.
Yeah, get as much of that out of the way. So it's
maybe put the stack over here, maybe against the wall. Yeah, so, yeah. Should we just do it then?
Let's just get on.
I mean, I'll pass my inspection and everything. I've got to pass, surely. I've got to pass my inspection, surely.
No. I'll take my notes and I'll confirm it.
Write your report, and then I can tell you what to do with it.
It'll be the Timon and Pumbaa report.
So Matt is just finishing off and taping the final bit of insulation in this this gable wall before we go ahead and insulate board that. But we've decided to do the foaming as we go, so we haven't got to go back and start cutting. I'm going to say cold foam, but I know it's set foam. So before we follow on with the foam, we're going to put the board on, foam it, put the board on top onto wet foam, so that'll solve that. As you can see, we took the ceiling down, didn't film it, didn't see why. I had to get into the loft and roll all that insulation back and make sure there was no bricks or wood or anything, which there was, bits of tile that we could drop on our heads when we took it down. So I did that first. I've tried to sort out the snot of cable from before, from old electricians, as with the new wires are all coiled up ready, just to put back and then clip where necessary before the insulation goes back. We have added board catchers along there, which we can then put the board over the top and then screw through into the top of the stud into board catchers. We've done the same over there, put some board catchers on. We have, as you can see, exposed this wall. We've de-nailed everything, de-screwed everything. I've moved the cables where we actually want them now because we could get better access where we want the lights, where we want the cooker switch. That one there was just hanging and the cable was actually clipped by the plasterboard over the top of it. Weird. So all I've had to do is just try and clip it back like that rather than having to take it all apart. But that's got 3 cables in, so there's a junction box up there. So to be perfectly honest, the spark is going to have to come back and have a look, and he may decide to just get whatever that cable is up there, take the 3rd one out, find the ring and splice it. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we're going to have to do. I've just run, you saw me drill the holes for the island feed, which comes across there now, up there, and 1100 all the way across it, which is where our boxes are going. And that will be then joined into the ring. This cable here is a draw cable to allow us to pull the ring down this wall to a double socket that's going there, and then also a fuse spur to pick up this, which will then feed the island on the floor over there. So what we're going to try and do today is try and get this ceiling all tacked. And now we've finished all the messing, because there's been a lot of messing today with what we found in the ceiling again, with what we found in the wall. A lot of messing. We've not done as much as we thought, had with Matthew today.
Well, we've done a lot.
We've done a lot, but
we've just changed our plan.
we changed our plan. We have.
I mean, when you had 2 hours just trying to sort out everybody else's mess.
Yeah, all the ceiling and all the mess and having to put, yeah. I mean, that over there, that wall just goes up and doesn't even touch the ceiling over there. It's just between 2 trusses. There's not even any board catches like I've put in there now. Nothing. But there we are.
Spider snot and goodwill, mate.
Yes, it is exactly what it is. Spider snot and a bit of goodwill.
A bit antiquated, but it used to work.
I mean, a bit of hope as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and do some tacking now, just finish our day off. And then tomorrow, which unfortunately is a Saturday, we're going to come in, get this boarded, and then see what else we can get tacked. Now we are, I'm going to say 100% ready.
Oh, you said it now.
I've said it now, and I've said it. So we did get done. We left it about 4:45, was it? About 4:45. We got that wall on, and we got this ceiling on. We're going to leave that for now. That's just unfortunate. It's 2 boards width, but we might be making this up anyway, this beam, because I've got a pink board it. So we might make it up, haven't we? But we might put a strip in and scrim it. We don't know, do we?
Well, there was also sort of where do we run the electrics?
Electric, yeah. So there's that. We got options. So like I said, that's all done. We're just gonna have a look at this and work that one out. But we were going to try and put some more insulation in this, but the customers, you know what, it's not doing any function, so it's not bothered. So we're going to take this old stuff out, this horrible stuff, and to be perfectly honest, it's what, 20 mil thick? It's doing nothing anyway, so I have to get it out, tie the electric cables up a little bit, and when I put my Pattresses in, this is not in the way, so I've got to put my Pattresses across there for the base units, like I've done this one. Pattresses across there for the wall cupboards. So I shall do that, but now we're going to do this ceiling. Board all this ceiling, and that'll make it look a bit different in here. So let's get on with it, shall we?
Shall we?
Yeah. So at this point, I'm not quite sure how much time lapse we've actually got of this, because it was a little bit awkward, especially the first couple up there. But we have got the majority of that done now. We've just got we did all these reveals, and what we've done there is we've actually put 25mm Kingspan on the inside of these, all the cheeks there, and then put the insulated plasterboard against it. And all we have done, so in order to get the plasterboard to plasterboard edge there, we've had to cut the back of the insulation off. So what I'm saying there is there's your insulation board, look like that, plasterboard insulation. We just cut this insulation off, so like that, just so we can run the plasterboard edge over all the way across the insulation on the cheek. What we obviously don't want to show, in fact you can see it, you can sort of see it there, look, that gap there is the width of the 24, that's 50mm, which is the Kingspan, or the Celotex PIR 25mm, and the insulated plasterboard, which is 50mm. So that's what it is. And of course that bit there to there is, we've got it back to run it over, so we can still put the bead on properly and plaster it. We have got an insulated plasterboard, but that will only be insulated plasterboard though, because it's tight at the bottom. We can just push tight to that thermal collar and go into the groove like we've done all the way around there. That looks nice. We've foamed as we've gone, foamed everything, wet as we talked about, and then pushed it against the foam. Matt is in here now just finishing off the last couple of cuts in there, because it's just over 1 board's width, unfortunately, but there it is. And then that little bit there will get screwed and then clipped with this plasterboard when we do that face. Still gonna be 100mm Kingspan in there, a little bit in there, 50mm in there, loads of little jobs, isn't there? But next, I think I'm gonna put all the timbers in there, and you're gonna start tacking this, aren't you?
Yes, mate, yeah.
Yeah?
Get rid of some of the plasterboards. And
Yeah, that's it then. Let's do that. Oh, I might put the noggins in this steel as well. Or I could just let Matt do it, either or. Huh. So we stopped the footage. It is Saturday and it has gone R4 now. We just wanted to crack on. But all we managed to do is just get the mess about parts out the way. So we've got those top boards on there. Got ice cream again, look. And we put the cables in. That one is for the extractor and that one is for the undercupboard lights. And those cables there will be dropped in the same distance as that socket there. That there, because there's a noggin already in place, that will be slightly below the 1200, but it's 1200 maximum, so we're about 1180 to the top, so that's good. And apart from that, Matt's got to do that bottom bit now. I got all my timbers in ready for my cupboards to fix to and for my base units to fix to. We didn't have to do over there because the two that are missing, that timber is already high enough to get a fixing into for the brackets for the cupboards, base units. And then we went ahead and did that. I'll let Matt explain next week all the noggins and what we're going to do to make that look really nice, but we're going to pink board that, so there's a bit of a change of plan where we do it. So then Matt, get on with that. We've got all this done. I'll hand over to you, shall I?
Oh yeah, come on then. Anyway, enough of that. I don't even know if you can see it.
So, I'll leave it with Matt, let him crack on, and he'll explain what he's doing, how he's doing it, and give you some more footage. And I'll look forward to coming and looking at it next time.
Oh, you're going to do your inspection?
Well, yeah, sort of.
Big bag now. Okay, right.
Lovely.
Yeah, better hand you back.
Leave it with you.
See you next week.
Good morning. I am here back at the carport job. You will have seen me and Rich working last week. It turned out to be a Saturday, so I had yesterday off. And yes, during that day I did grow a moustache. So me and my moustache are here on our own, and we're going to be finishing off the bits that we basically didn't get a chance to finish over on that Saturday, which isn't much of a problem, but there's a little bit of tweaking of the studs there so I can get my pink board on, and that will bring the insulated board, pink board all down in one level. I've got some boards and some cables to fit over there ready for the kitchen, and if I spin you around, it's a little bit dark, but in here I've got some prep work to get some strips of board up there ready to take my dab at the top. I've got some insulation to finish up there, the void to pack with rock wool, prep work here all ready for, again, some more insulation up in that top corner. Bits and bobs got to come off for the dabbing. Again, plasterboard down here, and yeah, bit of a lonesome pine day for me today, but if I can get ready and set up ready to dabbing tomorrow, that'll be absolutely spot on. Again, we've got the insulated plasterboard to cut in and around the Velux insulated collar and that corner over there also. Just as I say, the little bits that me and Rich didn't get time to finish on Saturday, but yeah, it was running late and it was a Saturday, so we left it for me today, and there we go. So I'm going to get on with it.
I was waiting in the undertow, set adrift with featherweight like bones, unaware of where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow, can't touch the bottom, sit into a tumble. Waves that shake me out of my skin. Never been so easy, losing my direction. My bearings have me south of home, but I've been wrong before. I was waiting in the undertow, set adrift with featherweight like bones, unaware of where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow. like a lover who lost her touch. At first I was hesitant, now it seems oh so curious. How'd I wind up so far from home when I barely had left the shore?
Okay then, so you'll have seen on the video, pretty boring stuff really. I've done all the insulation behind here, so it's all had 100mm in there, in between the timbers. Behind there, it connects to the steel and onto the blue engineering bricks for the padstone. Now, you may or may not have caught me just squirting the foam in the back there. So I took the insulation off the back of the board there, foamed it on top of the padstone, and then I've sealed it with the foam there just to make sure that that's got some sort of contact against it, and once that goes off that'll be rock solid. Sent it through the ceiling. I am going to be rock walling all of this. As you can see over there, it's already had a good 120mm of insulation and sealed with the foam. Insulated plasterboard here. Now obviously just come down there and this will be dabbed once the various bits and pieces have come off there. Now I'll show you with a little bit of plasterboard. So I don't particularly want to drop this head too much because the customer is an exceptionally tall gentleman, and so I'm going to tack a piece of plasterboard in there against the timber, and then just to show you, I will bring the head through there at that as tight as I can, all level to the edge of the plasterboard there, and I will seal up any gap with a combination of foam and then bonding just to make it solid. But I want to keep that head as tight as possible. You don't want to keep dropping it because otherwise it'll end up like a hobbit's house. Right, so about to start setting out these noggins just above, in between the steels. Now, to make sure that the board, from insulating board all the way down to the pink board, runs nice and true, all it is, rather than messing about string lines and things like that, just rigged myself up a little contraption. So it's a nice bit of straight lath, a couple of screws in with the plasterboard. Now that's my gauge. So I'll move the camera in a minute and I'll show you, but it will basically sit flat onto the insulation board. That's my pink board gauge, and so the noggin will naturally sit back nice and flat and true in line, and then I've pink board over the top, and I haven't got to think about whether it's going to be level or anything like that. After that, we'll string line in it, which is awkward, gets in the way, and they'll all go along nice and steady, and well, let's get on with it. I'm not sure how much of the how quick that was on time lapse, but I'll just show you. If I'll just show you what I'm on about, as long as I'm not going to fall off the hop up as I've just done. So yeah, I tapped it in, lath nice and flat, and that is my gauge all the way along. And so now I know they all run true in line with the boards. And so I can start pink boarding this side, which will then give me my measurement to set this one and this one. So I need to have a look at what my line is to get over this these blue engineerings and the padstones. So I'll select my line there. I'll have a look, see whether I'm going to skiff dab this or maybe just make it up with the bonding. But I think once I put my noggin in there, get the equidistance all the way across the underneath of the steel, I reckon that is going to have to be dabbed to a little point up there, but we shall see. We'll have a look. This is what today's all about: getting set up, making sure everything's right, making sure everything's equal. Pink boarding this, got a little bit of boarding to finish off there, a little bit of a makeup in the corner, and then board this now. Now we know where our electrics are going and the socket heights, and Richard's done his Pattresses. So yeah, I'm happy with that because that was very quick. And then the other side, as I say, with the noggins that Richard's already pre-cut down there, I'm going to get this other side in and pink board. Okay, so end of day one of another week. Lots and lots and lots of bits done today, which is good in one way. It doesn't look like as much progress, but at least I haven't got to do the bits again because you only have to do them once. But pink boarded, so the noggins, hammered all the noggins in, got all that done, all of it pink boarded now across there. So that's all the dry work done, and then all I've got to do is dab this head on. Tomorrow when I start to dab this wall here. So purling's all boxed in now. This you saw the insulated board, and I've gone around with the plaster board and sealed it up with all the foam. A little bit more foaming in to do just to make up some of the gaps. Painstakingly put about a 30 to 40 mil strip rip in there just to close up that ceiling there. But yeah, got my lines in, my levels, I know where I'm coming with that. Haven't got to dab it out to reduce the space within this area now, because I can just float that in, bond it in, dab the face and make good down the sides. Behind the pink board there, the 2 sheets of plasterboard have gone back on, and they're all done. Cables are out where they need to be, sockets cut in there, and light switches over there, so the Sparky can multi-tool that out and drop that in once I've plastered. A few measurements on there that I've got to pass on to Rich, and apart from that, that's my day done. I've got straight into it today. It was all left tidy, ready for me to come in and start prepping this large wall going up to the vaulted ceiling so I can get this dabbed and then start working on the porch as well today. You may have seen me originally marking out my 120 for my lines of where my boards are going to go. Then I will stack them out ready for a good couple of bags of mix, and I've cut my sockets out here just with the multi-tool. So I'll spin you around from the stud wall over to the patio doors, and my sockets are neatly cut out just with the multi-tool. So obviously you pack it up off the floor, don't want anything going down there, and then obviously with my pipes, and I will infill those when I've got my levels, because there is a bracket, there's a double bracket behind there which I'm going to have to just sort of sort that out because that'll snag the back of the board when I get it on. With the sockets here, what I will use on the lovely flat wall that Luke's provided with me with, strange it's flat and level, sorry Luke, joking. I'll use this as a packer, so I'll put this on the wall, which actually works in exactly the same as the double socket, so that gives me my dab width and also then the board, the 12.5mm, to come level with the sockets all the way across. So I keep a nice flat line with the level, with my double board gauge, and then straight across so you get a nice flat skirting line and obviously a nice flat wall. That's the way I do it. You might have another way of doing it, but I like to do that myself. You can't always do everything off square because we're obviously going to an original part to the building, so does it work out square, does it not? As long as it looks right and it is level and it's flat, everything works out after that. Right, there's gonna be. This has been a brief interlude. I can't get my words out because I'm raging. I'm hoping our resident Martin Scorsese can slow the time lapse down to see the fact that the plasterer's ghost has come back in. He seems to be chasing me, and the 184 board, which I'd cut for the socket, just literally went timber. Smashed over the top of my bench. It took my foam gun out as well. That's gone. Thankfully it missed the coffee that the customer had just made me. But I'm going to spin you around and hopefully with Richard's editing skills he can slow it down. You can see what I'm on about. So as you can see, this board was well placed over there, out of the way. Whilst I got that one on, I was getting my run through. And then as I was laying on there, I was up the top and it just went straight off. So perfect work, hop up height, snap straight across. Now what I've just done off camera, just as the customer was going, I've just cut the paper off where it had ripped off the backboard and basically chamfered it off with the rasp to give me a clean edge, just to make sure that everything goes back absolutely fine. Now there's no problem in doing that because all you're doing is joining the board together like that. Now that's got a bound edge, but the tops don't have bound edges, so that's the same as that. So just an awful lot of dab across that joint there, and then I've just done the face as well with some scrim and just dab skimmed that in, so that's going to put the strength back in it on this side as well. I'm sure Rich and Luke will have a laugh at it. So there's your challenge, Scorsese. Slow that one down and show my inner rage. Okay, so there we have it. But that's that big wall done. Nice tight corners up the top. Reveals are in. Sill. Alright. Sill's on. All I'm going to do is just cut the faceboard back when that's gone off, so it's nice and level. Get my beads on after that. Corners around the purlins done. Into the corners. And there we have it. So, apart from the obvious little road rage monster that I had because of that board, it went all right. It's just a bit of up and down on the scaffy. So I'll be looking to set my reveals around here, get those measured up, bring that in, move away from the bifolds, and then I can sort this out and then be into the porch. Morning all. So you'll have seen a little bit of time-lapse footage from yesterday right at the end of the day. I missed the last hour because unfortunately with the real-time footage and the time-lapse that I'd done throughout the day, it absolutely filled up and nailed the last of the memory on the SD card. So I phoned technical support and spoke to Spielberg and in reference to him and Scorsese. And basically they said, just delete what you want. So I'm hoping that I've only deleted stuff that is surplus requirements, and we are back in control of our footage. So I'll spin you around just to show you what I did in that sort of like last hour. So yeah, so there should be some real-time footage of me just getting this head in and the reveals here. Get them nice and square to the window, the bifolds. And then I went across the top there, just dropped an extra strip of board there. It works in two parts. One, it's my dab catcher for the board, because obviously I'm not going to be able to dab on top of timber and the insulation. And also it's covering the steel, so that will give us a total of 25mm on that steel, just to make sure that that's nice and fireproofed. Obviously it's either double 12.5 for 25mm or single pink board. I also foamed the producers out of it because I couldn't squeeze enough of the insulation in. So just sealed all that up, and I'm probably going to have to take this off here because of my levels, but I did want to leave it on so it left the integrity in that side. But I'm going to have to float that up anyway with some bonding later on. I also went to the front door, got my head on there again so it can carry the weight of the board across the top, and with the knock-on that is down the side here, I have had to double dab in preparation here. Obviously I want that to set nice and solid, so I did that last thing. Now I can go over the board now without it moving. It's against the cavity closure. Didn't have to do that side. Once 12.5's there, 12.5's there, that'll give me a nice picture frame all even round the edge. Also dropped the board across the top. Again, just like the back, that will actually have a full pink board across there because the steel is slightly lower, and I want to make sure that that is all covered. And then over here, I've just started finishing off the screwing just on the boards that I've got in there, just so I can get this running parallel and get all my levels there. Then I can board in there, plug socket cables through, light switch cables through. Now I'm spoke to the customer about roughly where he wants it. I need to fix that bottom timber and then start dabbing this. Morning everyone. So back at the carport and had a little trim. I haven't lost my friend completely, but so my first job is to rectify not an oversight. It was just I wanted to get get the pink board up. But what I want to do is put some insulation in between the steel, behind the noggins, just stop that cold point, that sweating that sometimes might happen. So that's my first job, and then after that I'll be dabbing the bottom, bonding up the corners. It has moved on a little bit because I didn't record much the other day, just purely because it was so tight in the porch and in their small cupboard. So I will give you a run round, show you what I did, but for now, pop some time lapse on and you'll see me dropping the insulation in.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching Matt plastering so far. I'm back today just to do some work in the utility side of things, putting some structure in the ceiling and in the walls for the cabinets. So I'm looking at it for the first time. Now it's all plastered, so I'm excited about that. Let's have a look. So Matt's already on it up there, already trailing on, aren't you?
Bonjour. Yes, I am. Yeah. Getting your reveals all sorted.
So this is looking rather splendid. You've already seen it, but you've already gone through it all, step by step, but I haven't. So this is me now looking at it. So I'm pleased about that. So Matt's plan today is going to get his reveals done, and while he's doing his reveals, I'm going to go to the other side of this wall, which is utility, and start putting the timbers in across there to carry the wall covers when we do the kitchen. And I've got to put some plywood, which is there, in the wall in this sort of area for when they put shelves on the wall as well. They can screw through into it. So that's my job for today. And then Matt can skin the other side of that wall because he was concerned about me knocking and banging and disturbing the plaster, which is fair enough. So I'll get that done today amongst other jobs, and we'll have a right good tidy up. And then Matt will be back at some point then to plaster this in here.
Yes.
And then plaster in there. But you'll find that episode will probably be at the start of the kitchen episode, which will then be the final episode, won't it? Because we've got to build a bit of a faux sort of chimney beam type above the range there. So, but I'm going to do that once the kitchen's done. So that'll be that episode, won't it?
It will be, yes. I mean, just depending on what the plan is as far as just before I pull off, how much of that gets done and whatnot. But certainly the utility and that will be done on the return.
Yeah. So we look forward to that one. Well, he's got on a trailer again, so he just wants to get on. So let's get on. Notice he's already started his moment.
I know. I'm in practice runs.
It's only June.
We'll get me 5 day, 6 day sculpting.
So we've cracked on. Matt is now trailing up his second set, which is that wall, those reveals, that wall. What else, Matt? Is that it?
This side of the steel.
Oh, and this side of the steel as well. That's his second set. So he's trailing up money. He's on his second coat.
Yeah.
And I've been... Oh, yes, he's done the Velux reveal. I did say that, the Velux reveals. Always looks good up there. Looks great, that does. And I've been in here. Put all the timbers in to catch the wall cupboards now. Double those up because we're putting a smaller cupboard under the steel. So we're going to put like a 560, is it? Anyway, we've got a smaller cupboard under the steel there, so they all line up at the bottom. And then put these 2 bits of plywood Pattresses in to catch some lightweight shelves, that's the sink area there, the other side of here. And I just wanted a little bit of something to put some shelves up. So that's what that's for. I've also put plywood on there. Got rid of the cooker switch that was there. Believe it or not, if you go back, rewind the footage, you'll see there was a a fuse spur there, and a cooker switch sticking out the wall. Now, one leg of that cooker switch was in the wall, already cut. So I'm hoping Lee's done that, presuming he did, because it wasn't live. The other part, believe it or not, again, went into the fuse spur. 6mm cable, but the fuse spur, look, is only 1.5. I've pulled that back and then dropped it back down there again, and then just put some connectors on it, look. So we can either use it as drag wire or we can use it for something else. But as I've showed you already in the episode, you'll see up there is all the new cables. So that's what it's going to do. And that there, as I've already said, is just a drag wire. So that's what we're doing. So the rest of our day will be spent now. Matt, just finishing off what he's got to do in there. I'm going to insulate and insulate board that, because in there, which you've already seen presumably when Matt did the footage earlier, is all 100mm Kingspan all the way around, and even the ceiling, look, as you can see. So I'm going to put some extra stuff in there. This will be left for the time being before Sean comes back and removes the blow off and the condensed pipe, and he'll discuss it when he comes. But it's an integrated drain off and blow off all in a ton dish all built in. But I'll let him explain all of that. So we're going to leave this for now, and we won't touch this, and that'll be done, like as I already said, when I come up to the kitchen. So there we are. Let's finish our day off then. So we didn't film anything else. All we've done really is tidy up, and I have put the board catchers up there, ready for the scene to be done. I'll put some board catchers either side of the flue. I'll put the board timber in the steel, and then we've screwed the timber down there to catch the board across there. That's that. Everything is nice and tidy, all swept up and clean, isn't it, Matt?
Love a good tidy.
Love a good tidy up. Swept up there. I've also, you can see we did put the rock wool in that seam first, and then I've insulated boarded that as well. And then this is all now nice and tidy. Left a bit of board there in case we need some when we start going into the utility. But apart from that,
And the pink board's there for the other.
pink board is what you've just seen, the last bit of steel that's showing. That's pink boards for that. However, it'll be double board anyway, because that's going to be boarded and then dabbed over the top into it to come flush. So,
Belt and braces.
belt and braces, pink board and the board underneath it. So that's fine. So that's it. We will leave this for now. We'll be away from here now for a few weeks, won't we? A good few weeks. You won't see this now for a good few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks at least, because we've got a customer will paint all this when it's dry, and then order the kitchen, and then we will come back, and then I'll fit the kitchen.
It's imperative to get it to the state where you get the kitchen ordered now. You can come fit it.
Yes. So when we come back next, that will all be done in there. We may capture a bit of footage in the utility if we finish that, but it's that tight. There's nowhere to put yourself and the camera. So you may see all this finished when we come back next, when I do the kitchen. But we shall see, won't we? So end the episode. Thanks for watching, as always. And we will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.